And welcome everybody, Buckeye Nation. What is up? It's been a while. I apologize. Ohio State football with Scarlet and Great right here on YouTube with my good friend Jay Stevens from the Locked On Buckeyes podcast and the Jay Stevens podcast. Jay, how are you doing, my friend?
Corey, I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back with you. It's been quite a while since you and I have talked ball, talked in general. So
Hmm.
I'm glad to be back. And there's a lot going on
Oh
Ohio
yeah.
State wise. So I know a lot of fans had different thoughts about what's going on. I'm sure we'll share some of our thoughts here on today's show.
Absolutely. And by the way, guys, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video. It helps the algorithm. It helps us grow as a channel. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the season start. Also, guys, if you have any comments or whatever you want to say, we're idiots, whatever you want to say, leave them in the comment section of what you think, what's going on today. We're going to talk today about uh, USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten. I know it's a little bit old news right now, but we're getting to it because there's also some rumors out there that some more might be joining the Big Ten here, not in a too distant future. But first and foremost, USC, UCLA. Jay, what did you think when you heard the news drop? I mean, that was kind of out of nowhere, wasn't it? I mean, you heard little rumors and innuendos over time, but you didn't think it was going to really happen. I don't think any of us really thought it was that going to happen. USC in the Pac-12 are just, that's just synonymous with each other. But now they're going to be a Big Ten foe for Ohio State.
It seems weird, man.
Hmm.
We were talking off the air before we started recording, and we were talking about. I mentioned how college football was a regional sport. You kind of fell in love with the school that was in your region, and even the conferences are still had a regional aspect to them. The Big Ten going from 10 to 11, adding Penn State. Yeah, you go a little east, but that's still right there. It's right neighboring Ohio, so
Mm.
it's right there. But now when you're going all the way to Southern California, and the Big Ten is literally stretched from coast to coast. Regions don't mean anything. East Coast doesn't mean anything. Midwest, no, it's literally, can we make more money? And I think that's the
Mm.
biggest thing. It's LA. Is LA the biggest college football area? Absolutely not. Do they care about college football like people in Ohio do? Absolutely not. Can they bring in a lot of money to the Big Ten? Absolutely. And we're seeing that money drive a lot of the
Huge
decisions.
media market. Yep.
That's all they care about. Nobody cares about Jersey or New York in college football. Oh, but money, bring it on. DC and Maryland, nobody cares. But when
Hey,
it comes
Rutgers
to
has
the
been a
money,
vital addition to I can't even do it, man.
oh gosh, don't get me started. But no, man, it's all about the money. It's literally
Mm.
that's literally it. It's all about the money and that $100 million per school we were hearing with the new TV deal. Well, could be now 110, 120. I've heard recently at the end of the decade, it could be up to 150 million per team at the end of the decade. I mean, think about how quickly prices have gone up in America. And we're going to
Mm.
see astronomical rises in the TV deals in college football
And ticket
because money
prices.
talks. Money is literally moving the needle and changing things that you and I love, that people listening and
Mhm.
watching love. Money is saying, well, I'm rearing up my ugly head and I'm going to dictate everything going on in college football. It's weird, man, but these are the times we live in.
You know what? With the new NIL deals going around, I'm sure they're thinking we got to get USC or USC and UCLA, the LA market in here just to get our schools more money to be able to funnel it to these recruits who are going to be demanding absurd prices for guys who've never done anything. That's another story. I got another. I'm gonna do another video on that. But I love it personally from the competitive aspect of it
Yeah, yeah.
because Lincoln Riley is a great young coach. He's I with NIL and Lincoln Riley, we can confidently say USC is probably going to be on the rise. Can we at least believe that?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I think it's not implausible that that's going to happen. Um, I think USC is going to be great competition for Ohio State. It's going to strengthen their schedule, strengthen their resume when they go to playoff time. And I think it's going to be fun to have the travel to LA to Columbus, have USC come to Columbus is going to be fun. UCLA is a school that has promise, but they need that generational coach, I think, to really get them that understands the game of today. Chip Kelly had a great time in his career, and he's done pretty good with UCLA. I mean, he's got him on the rise, but I would say he's probably not the guy to take him to that next level, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. UCLA basketball adds a lot to the to the Big Ten basketball, obviously with their history. All of a sudden, John Wooden's the greatest coach in Big Ten history. so, um, anyway, that being said, I love it. I say bring more. Get Notre Dame. Go get Oregon. Go get Washington, Stanford. Go get these schools. Go get Duke and North Carolina if you can. I would say Clemson, but it looks like they're going to go SEC if they go anywhere. Um, I don't know about how you feel about the J. I know it's the Big Ten, it's regional, like you said. That history, let's be honest, that history is gone.
Yeah.
Just it's done. But if we're going to embrace the new era of college football, I say we just go get every big program. We do the super teams like in the NBA. Just go get every program we can get. And I want 24 teams in this in conference. I want great college football games every single Saturday. I don't want Ohio State Rutgers. I want Ohio State Oregon, then Ohio State Notre Dame, then Ohio State USC. It's back to back to back to back. I want Murderers Row because that if anything's going to save college football from the financial because I mean, the love of the game's being lost a little bit, and the fact that everything's so money dominated. Let's at least have great football every single week. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. You think about the competitive nature and competitive, somewhat more of a balance than there has been by adding USC and UCLA. I'm going to throw something out there. I know this is probably not going to be something we're going to see in the future after 2022, but hear me out with this.
Okay.
If the Big Ten were to keep the Big Ten East and the Big Ten West, the two divisions, after 2024, when these two schools come in here, you're automatically adding USC and UCLA, and they're automatically going to be in the running to win the Big Ten West day one. Like, I don't care who you are, UCLA, without USC, could come in here and compete with Wisconsin and Iowa to win the Big Ten West. You might want to say UCLA is not good. Neither is the Big Ten West. You add in USC, that's a legitimate contender to Ohio State by 2024 to win the Big Ten Conference Championship game. And assuming that we're going to get playoff expansion down the road, 2025, whenever that contract is up, you're going to get more. There's a better shot to get 3, maybe 4 teams in the playoff by adding these two schools because they make your conference stronger. You mentioned Oregon and Washington. Well, there may be people watching that say, well, they're not really that good. I think in the grand scheme of things, and really just over the past 20, 30, 40 years, if you look at the Rose Bowl appearances, both have been there. Actually, both have played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl itself. And so you're getting those schools, those brands. If you think of things outside of just football, where conference realignment is not just a football-centered conversation, but you want to have other sports, mainly basketball, be more competitive. Well, USC is one of the few, I think 3 schools over the past 5 years that has had one player drafted in the NBA draft over the past five drafts. You add in UCLA, you mentioned John Wooden, one of the best coaches, and some say the best coach in college basketball, and then UCLA, that brand, bringing that to the Big Ten, that makes your basketball team stronger. Then you add in Oregon, Nike money, hello. I mean, that talks. And then Washington, I do think you go out that area where Ohio State has been able to recruit pretty well, decently.
Emeka Egbuka, JTT come to mind, G. Scott Jr. I mean,
you're going to get more of those guys by doing that. And so competitively, yes, on the football field, we all want to see how you want to see Ohio State play better schools. Like, okay, Ohio State, I believe, plays Toledo and Arkansas State this year, week 2 and week 3. I'm going to watch those games.
Of course we are.
It should be blowouts. But at some point down the road, Corey, I don't know.
Devin Brown by third quarter.
Should be. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of these low-tier FBS schools being played by Ohio State playing them. I understand it's a check game where those schools literally need that check to fund their program over the entire year. At some point, I do think that as these conferences get bigger, and it's just a thought that came into my mind, you might see more of those games go away where Ohio State or some of these schools were being like, you're not playing these lower level FBS schools. You got to play a strong, reputable conference, a stronger schedule, to simply get you to be better prepared and to get more respect from the committee. Now, people may say, Jay, the SEC still plays SEC and the ACC still play one FCS school down every single year. I think at some point, whenever the college football people get out of their way and say, well, we need to have a central body, either the NCAA, which I don't think will happen, or somebody governing our sport. I think at some point, whoever that is will say, you schools cannot play FCS schools every year, and that'll make their schedule stronger as well. So I know I'm saying an Ohio State thing. I do see a road down very, very soon, probably within the next 3 to 5 years, where there is a governing body governing the sport, where Ohio State's schedules and other school schedules are ultimately stronger, because you can't have all of these schools in your conference and be like, well, we're going to play we're going to play a low-level school just to get like a cake. No, we're not doing that. We're going to make things more even, and I do think that's going to make the sport better by expansion of the conferences, but also more even scheduling will make things a whole lot better. I mean, imagine, Corey, I know I'm going longer.
You're good.
Imagine if teams in the NBA were all of a sudden twice a month playing G League teams. That'd be a smack in the face. Imagine if the New York Yankees once a month were playing a AA minor league baseball team. That'd be a smack in the face. But for some reason in college football, it's been okay because we're paying them $2 million to fund their program. That's retarded. That's stupid. And
I think they look at it like just preseason games. I mean, I think that's what commonly college football is looked at. Like these are our preseason games. But we're kind of, but as you to your further your point, we're kind of moving away from that because we have like first game against Ohio State is Notre Dame. There's no preseason there. It's just you're right into big boy college football first week. Imagine if you went into that game without an experienced quarterback. I mean, thankfully we have C.J. Stroud with a year under his belt. I mean, that's another thing. And they have Notre Dame has a great D line, and we have a kind of a newish offensive line. So you don't get to work out those kinks against the Toledos and the Arkansas States. And another aspect, though, to it, the benefit I would say to that is you don't get overconfident beating the tar out of these teams, and then the first time you come against a team with a pulse, oh my gosh, they punched me back. You know, I do love the fact that you better be ready out the gate. You better be ready to go. So I don't know. I mean, I would like the idea of, okay, Ohio, because preseason games aren't even if we compare them to preseason games like in the NFL, what are those games for? Definitely not for the starters.
No,
it's to see who can make the team.
Yes.
What kind of young players get the young players a little experience, see who can make the team. College football doesn't really have that.
No.
You know, so if you're good enough to play, you're good enough to play right away, and you have to play meaningful time, so meaningful reps. But I want to see I agree with you. I want to go away from that. I understand you're helping fund those schools' programs and whatnot, but I would love to go away from maybe add a bye week to compensate a little bit, just for players to get some rest. But I want to see this smash mouth football every week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of. I go back to a personal thing. One of my favorite things on this planet when my dad was alive was going that Saturday, getting a pizza, chips, whatever we're going to do, whatever we want to drink. It's our day, man. It's Ohio State. It's Michigan. It's Ohio State. It's Penn State. It's Ohio State, Wisconsin, whatever. It's a huge game. Big Ten championship game. And that's my time with my dad. That's college football for me. You know, that's my time. That's my favorite thing. I mean, I had friends and family come to our party, man. No, it's me and my dad today. That's it.
Man. Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, I feel like we can have those kind of experiences every week. Because I got to be honest with you, Dad and I'd be asleep by halftime against Maryland. It's just like this game's over. Who cares? So I want great football every week. That's what you need to give me in return. If you're going to start to diminish my love for college football with all the money flying around, that's what you need. And I'm not saying kids shouldn't make money. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're going to diminish my love for it, then give me great football every week. Jay, I'll give you the last word on this.
Yeah, I think that your average Ohio State fan specifically, they want great football. Many people understand why there are the lower level teams that come to the shoe to play every year. But then you look at a couple years from now, Corey, Ohio State plays Texas and Washington in the non-conference schedule. So you're saying, wait, so Ohio State's still going to play those schools, and your non-conference, like if Ohio State goes to Oregon, I think they do at some point, or goes to Texas, Ohio State still gets paid for that game as well. The home team still cuts a check for the visiting team. So, like, I'm not saying, like, there are still going to be times when Ohio State pays $1.9 or $2.3 million for whoever comes to the shoe for that game. That's still going to happen. But I think we just want great football. Like, we absolutely want great matchups. We want great football. And you're exactly right. If you're going to say, well, money's dictating things, money's dictating expansion, blah, 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 TV markets, blah, 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 blah. Well, how about you just give me good football every week? I think one of the best things about the NFL is you get you get good games every week. Like, you get good games, good matchups, either the 1 o'clock window, 4:15 window, Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football, either division matchups where these teams know each other very, very well, or teams that are AFC or NFC that clash in a primetime game. We get that every week. And I think college football fans, will love to see those matchups every single week.
100% agree with you. Tell them where they can find you, Jay.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at jsteven07. Check out Locked On Buckeyes every Monday through Friday. We're currently doing a draft every Friday, drafting the best Ohio State football players of the past 20 years, kind of celebrating a 20-year run of success of the team, but then also celebrating what happened literally almost 20 years ago, the 2002 season where the Buckeyes won the national championship. Going to have some great shows leading up to the start of the season for that. And then also the Jay Stevens podcast every Monday that comes out once a week, just having a little fun, chopping it up about sports and sharing my somewhat fun and some say colorful opinions about what's going on.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. That's what these are for opinions. Leave a comment, guys, if you agree or disagree or whatever you want to say to us. You call me an idiot, I don't care. There's whatever you want to say. I've had plenty call me idiots for my past takes on CJ Stroud, which we'll get into in the next podcast. I have Jay coming back. We're going to discuss CJ Stroud's successor. Please stay tuned for that. Appreciate you guys. As always, goodbye, God bless, and go Bucks.